Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Reality Right After. My name is Wellington Gomez. I am your host. And today, oh my God, it's your second time back. Hi, Sojourner.
Yes, it is. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Wellington, for having me on. I'm so happy to be here.
And it's so excited to have you back because Sojourner joined the brand as our RHOA correspondent. So now you're like part of the family.
I'm in the fam. I'm in the group chat. That's when I know it was like really real. And then when we were texting on the side, I was like, oh, these are my friends. Hey, guys.
I
So
love
happy
it.
to be here.
And we have a special guest on the show to talk all things Atlanta today. Hi, Janelle.
Hi. I'm
I'm
so
so excited.
excited to be here.
Of course, thank you for being here. So I went on my Twitter and I was like, okay, I need some new, fresh voices because to spice up the podcast. And Janelle was one of the people that hit me up, and I was like, period, let's get to it. Let's
And
talk.
it's so fitting. We got a brand new season of Atlanta. We got low key have like a cast refresh. So like, bring in the new voices. Bring in the new voices.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so Atlanta season 16 has been like people have been waiting for this season for a long time, right? So I want to know, Janelle, what were some things that looking ahead, we have the premiere now, of course, but as you were anticipating the show, what were some things that you were like, okay, we need to have this if I'm gonna be tuning in?
Yeah, I feel like we need to have some stories. I definitely want to see some drama. I want to see the new girls, give something that, we haven't seen before. And definitely bring back because Atlanta has been gone for a long time, so definitely bring back some of, the anticipation that the fans have been waiting for.
Right, right, right. What about for you, Sojourner?
I am very much as an OG lover. If we're going to do a cast refresh, we either needed the entire cast refresh or give me back my fan favorites. So I was happy to see Portia back on. I was happy to see Kenya on, although we see there's a little Kenya sorta, Kenya kinda not. Like we'll get into that. But I was happy to see Cynthia on. But again, to Janelle's point, I also wanted to see some women that were going to come in, bring the energy, bring storylines, not be scared to be themselves. And of course, iconic Atlanta. Give me some good one-liners. Give me some good memes. Give me some good moments. I want some new vocabulary. I'm using the same Atlanta vocabulary that I've been using
Right.
for the last decade. So I really wanted these
Yes.
girls to bring it.
That is so true. Like Atlanta really is the epitome of pop culture in the sense of like we say so many things on our day to day lives because of some of the things that have been said on the Real Houses of Atlanta.
Yes.
So the opening scene, Portia's returned and her divorce drama. We dive right in with Portia Williams reclaiming her Real Houses of Atlanta throne. Portia has been out from the show for a couple seasons now. She did her own show, and she also did a little. She did one season on Ultimate Girls Trip. So to have her back on the show is like one amazing because I feel like we definitely needed someone like as iconic as Portia
Yes.
to ground this new season. So she's strutting into the frame, divorce papers from Simon in rocking a confessional look that screams, "I'm back and I'm still fabulous." Um, but it's crazy because she cannot film in her house. Portia's first
Yeah.
season back and she can film in her house. Janelle, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that's really hard because I feel like that's what housewives is, and that's what we look for in a housewife is to be able to see them in their house and like see all the grandness. And of course, we've gotten to see Portia and Simon in their house on Instagram, and so it's really hard to see that they're going through these different things in the courts and they're not allowing her to film in the house. So it's
Right.
really hard to see.
Sojourner?
I have to agree because, like you said, a quintessential part of the Housewives. Yes, we want storyline, and a lot of their storyline has to do with their home life. It has to do with their family life. And as you see, every and anything that Portia says, we got to expect an Instagram post from Simon combating whatever she says, trying to negate against it. So it's like we're getting pieces and glimpses into their dynamic, but we're not able to see the full picture because he want to be greedy and go ahead and block a whole bag. Like that was a house that y'all got together. You know, Simon, you and your money could not get that house on its own. So that is just as much Portia's as it is yours. So the fact that he's trying to
Also,
like
you're not even a citizen.
you don't even
Oh,
you don't even go here.
No shade.
No shade, but like true tea. Okay,
You
but
you're not even a citizen. You're getting stopped by immigration every time y'all go down to any little country. So
thank
boy,
you.
please.
So who are you
Yeah.
to try and put an iron fist down on something you can't film in the house that we got together, that you and your daughter currently live in? Like, it's crazy to me. I can't stand it. I can't stand it.
I agree. I agree.
Yes, and I was thinking the same thing. Like Portia's been had big houses, like from when she was married to Cordell to when she bought her own house that her mom now lives in. And so
Hmm.
I'm sure Portia wants to show off her house because that's Portia. She shows off, and so I know that that's really hard for her, and that's why she's going to see the lawyer to be like, okay, what can we do so I can film in my house?
And also, like we know the formula of housewives. Like the first couple minutes of the show are usually home scenes before we get to whatever group event the ladies are going to at the end of the episode. So it's kind of weird to not see Portia at the house with Pilar running around,
Yeah.
walking around with that big old booty. Like it's really hard to not see that. So Simon, you're corny. Like you're so
That's
corny.
corny. He want a peach so bad. He want a
He
peach
he
so
wants
bad.
a peach so bad. He gets on my nerves.
Yeah.
Well, the editors flash Simon's legal threats into, the screen, his criminal past, immigration issues, and Portia shakes it off at the strip club with Shamia, saying, "I needed to shake it off. I needed to get out of the situation, and now I feel like I'm a whole new person." So a lot of fans went on Twitter and they were like, listen, we get it. Portia's back on the show. But it does feel a little forced that right when you're coming back on the show, this Simon storyline is popping up. To me, it feels real. Like, this, I mean, they're not together. And the way that they're dogging each other out, I mean, not each other, because I feel like Portia doesn't really stoop so low like Simon. But Simon really be trying it. He's on his Peter Thomas bag, always trying to come crazy on social media. So I feel like it's real. Did you guys ever feel like this was for the show or was going to be fake, Jonelle?
No, I definitely felt like things came out and she started to find out different things in their relationship, different relationships that he was having, and they ended up breaking up and she went back to housewife shortly after.
I agree.
And I do think there could have been a world if they ended up getting the happily ever after that they so wanted, where she did come back on the show as a married woman to Simon. And she would have strutted up in there, head held high, like, this is my man. Whatever questions you have for me, keep it on the playground because I'm not even entertaining y'all. But, like, this is my show and I'm here. It just so happens that everything happened all at once. And unfortunately, all these lies, all these accusations, all the truth about Simon happened to come out. And so why would she not reclaim the show that she helped build? She came in on season 5 and she was monumental in the growth of it. So when that door with her ex-husband now closed, the door that is always open, which is Housewives of Atlanta, is going to stay open and she can come in and go as she pleases.
I agree. I agree. If let's say Bravo wanted to do like a one-on-one with her and Simon or like some type of like special thing at the reunion, would you guys be down to like hear what Simon has to say about it, or like are you like not interested?
I want to hear what he has to say. Just because I'm messy, just because I want to hear his side of things and what tea he has on Portia. But I do want to hear what he has to say.
No,
I don't
I
feel like
feel
he
you.
has the right to be on her platform,
Right.
but if it ended up happening, I'd listen.
Right.
Literally just like the part of me that loves the mess, that lives for the drama. Like, I just want to hear. I'm gonna say he's lying about everything, and I'm a clock. He's lying. He just want to be. He's just talking, but like, I entertain me. Let me at least hear it.
Someone that surprised everybody was Shamia. Shamia received her peach this season, finally. Shout out to Shamia. Congratulations to her. And now we see this mansion that she lives in, $9 million mansion. I think she said it was the third or second highest sale in Atlanta that year or something. Her husband does HVAC. And I had tweeted something. I'm like, when's the next HVAC convention? Because, honey, I'm getting a hotel for the weekend.
Okay, I'm
Like,
there.
I'm there. Because if this is what an HVAC company is getting
Understand,
you,
my door is open. It is open.
honey.
Yes.
It was really refreshing to see Shamia in this new side that we've never seen her before. She has a huge family. She has a huge house. She has so many things going on that we really didn't really know because again she was I feel like Shamia didn't even get the official friend title. She was kind of like a guest,
Yes.
like every so often. So what do you think about Shamia, Sojourner?
First of all, and I said it in my reality right after live, after the premiere, I owe Shamia all the apologies in the world because I can't, I was a hater. I was just like, why is she going to be on the full-time show? This is giving like Marlo a little bit. You don't need to make every friend or a guest a full-time housewife. Like, I just wasn't seeing it. Again, to your point, I didn't see enough personality. I remember she was on that one reunion where she and Phaedra had the back and forth, and she had some little jabs, but it just I was a Phaedra lover at the time, so I was like, Shamia, you can go ahead and sit down. I'm not really checking for you, so I wasn't really too excited. But the way that she had me audibly laughing out loud the entire time, that she is funny, she is talented, she has the family, she has the home, she has the dynamic, she is the glue. Like she pointed out how she is connected to every single person this season. And I was like, oh, Shamia, you deserve your 10s. You deserve your 20s, your 100s. Like you got it going on. So
Right.
I'm like her number one fan now at this point. I love it. I love it.
Were you loving it, Janelle?
I was loving it, and I feel like the whole first episode was giving Shamia her flowers, as being a friend of the show for so many years, and like giving us entertainment, and being like a housewife in her own right.
Right.
Shamia is like the epitome of what it is to be a housewife in Atlanta. She has the
Right.
housewife. I mean, she has the husband. She has the kids. She's grown up in Atlanta. She talked about how she met Candy through doing music, and she was singing. She had a singing career before, and so she was hosting for the Atlanta Falcons. And she's just done so many things in Atlanta, and so I think that it's beautiful that she's finally getting her flowers and being able to be a housewife on the show.
Right.
Like you said, I didn't
Right.
even realize she was homegrown. Like baby is
Yes,
Atlanta. Like she
She
is.
yes,
is Atlanta. She
Yeah.
definitely
yes.
is. When a lot of people are transplants, she is from there.
Yes, she is.
I'm just happy to see, I'm just happy to see Shamia, and I'm happy that she's like, honey, I can outshine the best of them. It's just that you guys have never seen it, so I'm waiting to see like Shamia just bring the money, the coin, and everything
Yes.
to Atlanta because you need that, you know.
I will say,
Um,
I do want to see her with the new stylist. I do.
Ooh.
I do. I do. I'm being honest. For all the money that she has, the looks could be looking a little bit more. If
I
I'm being
feel
honest.
you.
But everything else, I'm a fan. I'm a fan.
I feel you. I can see that. I can see that
She
for
hasn't
sure.
found her look this season.
Yeah, she's still.
Yeah, I can feel that.
Hold on.
I'm ready to see Portia and Shamia's dynamic. I'm ready to get more into their friendships, and she's always been a friend of the show. I'm ready to see more deeply into their friendship and the different dynamics that they have.
I agree.
But a lot of people have, speculated that Portia is jealous of Shamia, and now she has her peach, and Shamia's showing off her house. Portia's not able to show off her house.
Wait, hold on. So go back to that. You said, what was the tea?
No, I was saying, do you guys remember when Portia didn't go to Shamia's wedding that she had in Kenya?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. She had a little
Mm-hmm.
medical thing that didn't allow her to do a long flight, and I think
Mm-hmm.
coach for that long,
Mm-hmm.
something to that extent.
And I feel like Shamia has always not called BS on Portia for a long time. She's had Portia's back, and like even in ways like where it's shown that she hasn't been the best friend or the greatest friend to Shamia, she hasn't really like stepped up and spoken up for herself. So I wonder if that'll play out more this season, or if we'll see more into that.
I feel like we kind of already saw a little bit of like
Mm-hmm.
the production is trying to show us the cracks in their friendship because, of course, Portia is late to Shamia's event. Shamia's the first event of the season. It is her birthday at that.
Yeah,
Not even like
a regular shindig.
a regular. It's her birthday. It's her first event on camera that she's hosting for the show, and you're late.
3 hours.
3 hours. It's kind of insane a little bit because, excuse me, you're a veteran on this show. You know how these things go. You know that you being late is gonna be a thing. And no shade, if I am your bestie and I've been on this show for 8+ years and you've also somewhat been on the show, but now is your time to shine, I know how this works, and I know that if I'm going to be late, or if I see that I'm going to be late, they're going to try to make it seem like I'm trying to be funny when it comes to you. So I'm going to try to make sure to be at that event before I get to anything. That's how I view it, because the producers are going to play into that.
Atlanta traffic is not an excuse because you lived in Atlanta for how long, so you know what the
Are
traffic
we serious?
you. However, you can't film in your home, so you have to get ready somewhere else so you can build the scene. Well, you know that. You take into account how far the location.
Film at Shamia's.
Hell, why weren't you getting ready at Shamia's? That's your bestie. I would have brought over with my makeup glam, my team, my hairstylist, my dress, and the.
It would have been even. It would have been better.
It would have been mad cute. It would have been mad cute because that's your bestie and that's where you're supposed to be. But
right.
What I'm hoping for is that, and to your point, Jonelle, of Shamia not really calling Portia out for different things that she is doing or how she's not necessarily being a friend, their friendship extends. I didn't know. Like when they showed that picture of them two being all kinds of scrawny, skinny, like pre-puberty days, I was like, oh, y'all babies are real friends. Like y'all are real friends in real life. So I'm hoping that either one, Shamia knows Portia's true heart, and it's never like, you didn't make it to the wedding, you came to the birthday party late. I know in your heart of heart there's no malicious intent, so I'm not going to try and make a thing out of it when I know that's not how we actually are. Or two, right. They said, you know what, we are going to keep our arguments off camera because I don't want to give the audience or the other ladies or the editors any kind of chance to make some cracks in it. So we're going to have these conversations off camera, do how we do. And when we step under the scene, we're going to be a united front. That's what I'm hoping for because we need some more real friendships on the show. Like ones that can test the time.
I agree. I do feel like they're going to play into it though. And I really hope that Shamia and Portia don't get too low with each other. Like this show is not worth it. So, and we don't want to see y'all like go to hell with each other. So please protect the relationship. Please protect the relationship.
I will say, I think I'm seeing it in that first episode when Kelly and Brittany and Shamia were at dinner and they tried to.
So I was just about to bring that scene up.
Clock it. Nope. You're reading the blogs. You sound like you don't know what you're talking about. You need to talk to Portia about it. And then on that same night on Watch What Happens Live, Law Roach was saying, he was side-eyeing Shamia a little bit because, and I understand the point, he feels as though nobody should ever be comfortable talking to a best friend about their best friend. So the fact that Kelly and Britt even felt comfortable saying that to Shamia must have given off some kind of room for them to do so. But Portia was like, no, like, I don't think I know what people say.
I'm going to give her a pass on that one just because we know how these shows work, and I feel like I think that the girls knew to mention the whole Simon situation and Portia taking him away from Fallon, and Shamia knew that they were going to mention that. I actually think Shamia was a good friend. She said, listen, what you're not going to do is talk about my friend. That's not how it happened. That's not how, she completely disagreed with them and checked them in scene and then went back to her friend and related it to her and told them that, I'm going to tell her that. So I think she did well, but I also get La Roche's point. I think that works when it's your known enemy, you know, and it's like, why are you talking to my known enemy? Because that's kind of fake. But if it's like in this situation with the new girls trying to get into the mess and stuff like that, we'll give them a pass on that one. But talking about some of the returning people that came back from, actually, she's kind of the only person that came back from last season. Drew Sidora is back for another season. And this season, her relationship with Ralph is like at the complete gutter. Like, if we ever thought that Drew and Ralph were like bad, this is bad. Like, Ralph is living in the basement
where he belongs.
I feel like I don't even know what Ralph got going on, to be completely honest. Like, what does Ralph do for business? What does Ralph do to get to this money? I don't know. All I know is that he be on Instagram cooking, half naked. That's really all I know about Ralph. He lives in the basement. He's not allowed to come upstairs, and Drew's not allowed to come downstairs. Ralph is kind of loving it. He's like, I don't gotta see this motherfucker, and I can
Exactly.
say,
Exactly.
I can stay downstairs. Like,
Mhm.
child, we good. It's crazy though because the kids, I feel like the kids kind of like know a little bit about it, but it's weird. And when it's Ralph's weekend, Drew has to leave the house so that Ralph can come upstairs. So she gotta go to a hotel or stay with family for like one weekend out of every month. It seems like a crazy arrangement. Janelle, what do you think about it?
I think it seems like a crazy arrangement as well, as far as the weekend stays. I definitely want to see Ralph down there in the basement. I wish they would go film him.
I know.
But
For real,
I'm,
for
I'm
real.
happy for Drew in that she's making her way out of such a toxic situation, because we've watched her, seasons before, go through this gaslighting situation with Ralph. And so I'm glad that she's finally taking steps, whatever they may be, to get out of that marriage.
Right, right. So Jenna.
Me and Drew, we have such an interesting relationship. I want so many great things for her, but she just, I won't say disappoint because it's not that deep, but she just keeps going in directions that I'm just like, why, Drew? Why? Like, I feel like I wanted her to really boss up and be this and be like, no, like, I'm leaving yo ass. You let that man halfway leave you. Why did you let that happen? Oh, the way he has treated you off camera before this show was even a thing, but then
On camera, it's enough.
from the first season when he was down in Miami and talk about, well, why I gotta tell you what I do down in Miami is my, like, all of their little things. Why did you let that man leave you?
Mm.
If you tell me on camera that I'm not even worth a lunchable, I'm whooping your ass.
Like, call the security right now, or else they about
A
to.
lunchable, and I'm your wife
I am your wife and the mother of your
of your
children. So, like,
kids.
am I happy that the divorce is finally happening? Yes, but I also feel like it's only happening because Ralph was the one to kind of push for it. Like, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember what the reports, they were both racing to the
Yeah,
courthouse to
yeah.
file the documents or whatever. Like, baby, you needed to boss up. And then even so, even whoever initiated whatever, I wanted to see Drew like pop out and show niggas. You know what I really mean? Like,
Right,
I wanted her
right,
to be in like a full, whether it's going back to Body by Drew or Drop It with Drew, whatever it was, fully stepping into like her bad bitch era. And you want to work with Dennis?
right,
Like, of all, like, you're in Atlanta. Drew, you are actually talented. You're a beautiful girl. You can act. You actually can sing. And of all the people to work, Candy is a friend of yours. I know you got musical connections somewhere down there in Atlanta, but you choose to. Dennis is your saving grace?
Dennis.
The hot dog man?
Like, I'm sorry, that's when I have to call a spade, and I gotta say, like, listen, I feel like it feels a little bit produced.
And that's why I'm like, I want so much more for her, and she just keeps not attacking.
Dennis,
Dennis! Like,
as your music producer, what is we talking about, girl?
that little children's album for Pilar, like, what Grammy did that win?
Yeah, I was
They do
just gonna
Grammys
say,
for
I
children's
feel like
albums.
Dennis has pull in Atlanta, but not. I don't know if I've seen him in music.
Like, I can see you saying that Dennis introduced you to someone because Dennis knows a lot of people. But
Yeah.
you telling me that Dennis is producing your album
He
and
gonna
that somehow
from
that
the hood.
he's gonna like change your life and this is like
It
And
it
that's
was
where
her
I'm like,
just saying that he was her saving grace. I'm sorry, but when she kept saying that one line, and it was like she said it like 3 or 4 times, and I was like, wait, why do you keep saying that?
she
not only that,
means it.
saying that that this album and this music is gonna pay for Pilar's college. Girl,
Like, can we be
girl,
real? Can we be
girl.
real? These housewives check gonna pay for that tuition before any album they work together gonna do. Your Go Naked Hair
Baby,
partnership.
Pamper by Porsche is gonna pay for Pilar's tuition.
Okay, come on now. Come on. And so I just need Drew to be so for real. Again, I want so much for her. She is so talented. She can do any and everything that she wants to do. She can be successful in it all. But she just goes that like lame route, and I'm just like, ugh. Ah.
She so we saw Kenya Moore rolled up to Drew's house and Drew had a personal chef there, was to me was like,
I was like, why does Drew always have a personal chef? She has
And once she's in trouble for not
and you
taking the wrong one,
and this is the thing, like if Shamia had a personal chef, we wouldn't clock it, but
no, that
Drew,
Can you cook?
like I'm not trying to clock your coins or count your purse,
no,
but
I am. I
it
am.
does feel like in the eve of Eva Marcel, that Marlo was saying that Eva was living above her means. Like it just gives that a little bit. Like why is Drew having a personal chef for a random lunch with Kenya?
Like, it's,
You better order some takeout and put it in a nice china plate and call it a day.
It
If you
just
can't cook,
it didn't make sense to me because I feel like, girl, like you're going through a divorce that you don't even know how you're gonna come out of. I think the last thing that you should be doing is trying to put up for these cameras as if like you have personal chefs up and down the house on random Tuesday nights.
and she's
thank
been
you.
known for not paying chefs and assistants and people in the past. So that was my first thought when I saw this.
Literally, that was my first exact. I said, "Now, baby, you know better." I feel like you doing this on purpose. So I can pay them. I can pay them. Okay, okay, but yeah, you crying about money at the same time. That's why you're working with Dennis, is it not? Because you crying about money. So is it Uchiwali or one mic? Which one is it? Which one
Clock
is it?
it. Clock it. So we saw that when Kenya pulled up to her house and Drew spilled the fact that she's going to be working with Dennis, you literally saw it in Kenya's face. She said, "What? Like you're gonna be working with Dennis? Portia is not gonna have is not gonna like that." Do you think that Dennis is being sneaky, or do you actually think that Dennis is actually in it for the music, Janelle?
I think that Dennis is in it for the music and the mess. I think that opportunity with Drew because Drew is talented and Drew, does have fans and the music is good. From what I've heard, it's decent. And she could have, fans and fans of the show that would listen to her music. And so I
Right.
think that he saw an opportunity to work with her and he took it.
Sojourner.
I agree. I don't think Dennis is an opportunist by any means, but I do think he is a hustler. He gonna grind. He has businesses. So when he sees a viable financial come up, not an opportunist, like he's not just gonna grab anything, but when he sees, like to your point, she opened up for Tamar Braxton. Like she is actually very talented. Fans of the show are going to pay attention. So if he sees a viable financial come up, he is going to pay attention to it. But to the mess part, I do think he's being messy in it all. I honestly think that Dennis still loves him some Portia. And
Mm.
I think that anything that he wants to maintain a happy and a healthy co parenting relationship. I do believe that. But if he can also do little slight things that are going to get her a little upset, I think he's going to do that. Like, I think he knows that it's going to rub her the wrong way. That's why their stories are conflicting. Oh, well, Drew said that she talked to you. Okay, but then also you said that Dennis talked to you. But Dennis is saying that Drew talked to you. So y'all story's not even straight on the first tip. So I just
Right.
feel like he knows better. He knows it was gonna ruffle her feathers, and he would be able to rub it in her face a little bit, and that's what he wanted. That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
And Dennis was managing, I believe, or I remember him working with Fallon at one point. So I definitely do think that he works with some people, for benefit
Yeah. Yeah.
with Portia and getting her head and trying to get some get back with her.
Yeah, listen, he had to sit there and watch everything with Simon. You know that hurt his little heart. He was
Yeah.
so sad to see her just move on, onward and upward as it seemingly was.
And then put them on the same show together in Portia
Right.
Family
You know
Matters.
what I mean? And so I think just, if any way that he could get his lick back without doing anything overtly crazy to upset their dynamic, he's going to do. And I think in his mind, working with Drew, who Ralph is his homeboy, so working with Drew, oh, that's like working with family. Portia and Drew, y'all are friends. He's going to use that opportunity.
I try not to critique too much the girls when they're doing their little personal projects because I am the true believer that you should follow your dreams and that you should work hard on your dreams if you want to make them happen. I do think that Drew, like I wish that I could be like a consultant to the girls because I do feel like Drew is wasting her time a little bit when it comes to the music right now. I think that Drew has the acting capabilities to be a really good actress and that she can land a really good role that can kind of cement her in the acting world outside of RHOA. I feel like when it comes to music, she's always going to be Drew, the Real Housewives of Atlanta that does music. She's never
Yes.
going to
Yes.
be Drew, the R&B singer that happens to be on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Like Candy
Yes.
is Candy, but she also happens to be on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But she's also on Escape, and she also wrote fucking all of these songs for
everyone. Right.
like
Right.
so. I think that she should. Her big thing is the acting to me. I think that's where her career has seen the most success. So I feel like she should have tapped more into that bag, like maybe land like a good streamer show, like Candy did on The Shy.
Yeah.
Like the formula is right there. Candy's doing it right for you. I don't want her to invest too much money into this music because the music thing is hard. Like
And
the
it's not
music,
long term.
it's not lucrative long term, and it's like no shade. Like you have a lot of people trying to make it out of Atlanta in music,
Right.
especially in the R&B space. And the R&B space already doesn't even look the way that it used to. And Drew and Shamia to that extent too, and also love her to death, but Candace as well. I feel like
Ooh.
they sing that old R&B sound that we used to love, but that's not the sound anymore.
Selling. It's not what's selling.
R&B, it's SZA, Summer Walker, like that, those type of vibes. So I feel like you trying to come in 2025 trying to sing 90 R&B, like it's not gonna work. And that is my biggest critique when it comes to some of the girls doing music. I feel like we need to refine.
No, I'm in agreement with you. First of all, you need to get in touch with Drew's team because you want to about consulting and helping her carve out that image. I still think of Drew Sidora from The Game. I still think of Drew Sidora from Step Up. Like the acting credits are there, and you
Are there?
You had me hating you for years off of what you did with Derwin. Like you really sold the story, okay? So if anything, give the girls acting again. You got that. Like everything you said was 100%.
Like land a good show on Netflix that gives you like that get on Beauty in Black, girl.
Ooh.
Easy. You know Tyler Perry would book you now. You know he would book
Girl, if Drew would have been focused on her acting, I feel like she would have been on Beauty in Black right
you.
now.
And honestly, I love me some Beauty in Black. So that would have I could see
Girl,
her
Beauty in Black is so good.
That would have been fantastic.
Listen, like get something like that, like a good buzzy show that's going to put you on everybody's, and then
Beyond the Gates, the new soap opera on CBS, like something.
and then when you are like, okay, like Drew has been doing her shit in the acting career, like she's on the red carpets not because of Atlanta, but because of all of the things that she got going on in her acting career. Give the girls one good single. One good one. Don't give us an album. We don't know you.
And don't give us singing to your husband on the reunion trying to like get your lick back. Don't give us that either.
Girl.
Don't. That was so cringe. That was so
Girl.
cringe.
Oh my God. Well, this season we also met newbies. This was a season of a revamp and of a new energy being added to the show. We met newbie Kelly, Britt, and Angela. So Kelly Farrell at her waffle joint, she is a skilled chef and has twin daughters and an older daughter. We saw Kelly give her daughter 17 bags for her 17th birthday. I thought that was everything. Like bring back opulence, bring back money, bring back spending. And also like seeing a black girl on national television getting 17 designer bags for her 17th birthday.
Yes.
It gets no better than that. It gets no better than that. Yeah.
Period. And I love that scene, like at that little tea party. Everybody looks so sophisticated.
Right.
It was just so elegant. I love that. She is going through a divorce. But her divorce is kind of like messy as hell. Like she's walking around with a security guard because her husband used to get physical and she has a restraining order on him, and to the point that she literally needs to like walk around with a security guard because he's tried to like pull up on her. Like I think that's crazy scary.
It is.
And sometimes you don't. She's a woman of access, like she had got the money to be walking around with a security guard. But there's a lot of women that are in situations like this, and they don't got no security guard that they could be walking around with. So I feel like she got a lot of story to tell when it comes to whatever she got going on. Are we liking Kelly?
I'm ready to see Kelly. I haven't seen anything that I like about Kelly. I
Period.
I've never heard of Nana. I'm originally from Georgia, South
Oh, you are? Okay, okay.
I never heard of
Carolina,
it.
and I've never heard of Nana. So for her to be the queen of waffles, I'm ready to see what it gives. And like you said, the fact that she's bringing all this opulence, all this money, she has the money to pay for round the clock security. I'm ready to see it. I'm ready to see more from Kelly.
I want to taste one of them waffles
Yes,
because if you can, like, they better be good. Everybody's saying they are.
yeah.
They better be. So, Jenna, are you liking her?
I don't dislike her, but I didn't like how hot she came in. There's a way to cement yourself as a notable housewife to watch without coming for, like, you sound like the rest of us at home. Well, why did Portia take that man's husband? Like, you reading the blogs just like everybody else.
Clock
You have
it.
a level of access, and you can actually have a conversation with Portia. You've never seen the girl, you never met the girl, you never shook the girl's hand, exchanged names. So coming in so hot, so early, so quickly, and to her best friend of all people, that was weird, and it gave like a forced moment, like she was trying to make a moment. And I don't like when people try to make moments. You should be the moment. When Portia and Kenya stepped on the scene, they didn't step on the scene trying to come for Nene. If anything,
They was coming for each other.
thank you. Okay, bye, Ashy. Like, they were coming for each other, not trying to come for somebody who's already cemented in it. So Kelly, I was like, pipe down just a little bit. Again, to your point, I loved seeing her with her family. I love the 17 gifts for her daughters. I love, as a single mother, she is trying to create generational wealth and like provide, and like I'm a huge fan of that. But I just didn't like how she came in. So the jury is very much still out. Like Jonelle said, I just want to see more of who she is and how she is. But we'll see. I definitely did clock. Ooh, you came in a little spicy there, girl. Just a little spicy.
Castmates, let me know down in the comments. Are we liking Kelly? Yes or no? I really want to know. I'm gonna be asking everybody about the newbies, so I really want to know. Are you liking Kelly? Just know. Let me down in the comments, please. Let me know. Let me know. So okay, then we have Bree Edie. Bree is a insurance agent. She opened her own Allstate, and I'm just saying that's the one she did because I do feel like on the show they're trying to make it seem like she got her own insurance company.
Yeah, literally.
She got a franchise. I'm not knocking it down, but
Well, let's just
you
be
know
clear.
what? Let's just be clear. But I do think that is because of branding situations that they don't mention it.
Yeah, they
Maybe
can't claim it like that,
you know. But she's an insurance agent. But you didn't hear from me. Supposedly, the girls be saying that someone be scamming.
I heard that too. I heard
Allegedly.
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 That's just what
Because
the word
Sheree was saying, look at my producer being Bessie talking about don't be biased when it comes to Brit because of Kenny.
That's just what we had heard.
That's just what we heard, honey. Like allegedly,
A show of her being an insurance agent. Like, where is her in her office or like insuring people? Like, she was like,
where's her walking in a suit? Insuring people, like where is her in the office? Where is her talking to her other agents or something like that? Where is the insurance company? Like
Where is
what?
what?
You know?
At the baseline, but instead you want to just show bags full of money talking about something. If you want to get hooked up, DM me. It's giving fraud.
Production is telling me that Sheree does keep the company of scammers and common thieves, so she would know another one.
If anybody, listen, if anybody.
Listen, it's true. So she has this man. They're recently married, I think a year or two or something. The Twitter streets are so messy. Like they are just so messy when it comes to these people. Like the moment that they meet someone new, it's like they go in. Yeah, y'all been seeing what they've been saying about Brit's husband on Twitter?
I seen it.
Yeah, they saying that like he look a little zesty, and to me that's just so wrong because it's just like, That man, that is his wife.
Right.
Literally, I saw
You
the tweet
know?
that I wonder if Dwayne knows him, and I said, "Oh, now y'all, now y'all."
Not TJ.
Oh please,
I'm screaming. I'm screaming. No, but no.
Lavender marriage. And I mean, if that's what they have, that's great for them. If he's just metrosexual man who like
He don't even give that though. No shade.
because he's light skinned. Light skinned men get it so hard, and it's so
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
what like Metro like just means like he likes to like keep everything like like
Yeah, like Metro means that they like to upkeep with themselves, whatever, whatever. Like all the things that people tend to think is soft, but he doesn't even give that in the sense of like he don't even look that put together. No shade. So it's like I don't even know. I don't even know if that was what his. I think that people are just messy, and it's Atlanta. And I feel like when it comes to Atlanta, it's a lot of this thing where it's like Atlanta is the gay mecca. So there's really like the moment you feel a little too, oh yeah, like that motherfucker must be gay, but he is with Brit. I think he is a little weird. He does give me a little Peter Thomas vibes in the sense of like I don't like how uninterested he comes off.
Right.
Like you waited for a camera to come around to be acting like you're annoyed with your wife. Like to me, that's annoying. Like that's your wife. Be interested in what she has to say. She's on this show,
Yeah.
the biggest reality show.
Come on, come on.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I agree.
The
agree.
biggest reality show on the fucking in the fucking country. So you're gonna act uninterested?
Surprised, engaged, excited, like you put
Exactly.
it on.
I do feel like he be acting like a little like annoyed and off-putting a little bit, and also we're gonna get into it now. Angela Oakley, her husband Charles Oakley, also be like giving stank attitude. I'm like these men.
I not even understand it, but I see it for him
Yeah.
more than I do for Britt's husband.
Yeah.
With Charles, I don't know, and she says it often in the confessionals. Like he's the type he gonna say something that's gonna have you like, what did you say? Like, why did you say that? And that's just who he is. But that gives that's who he is. Britt's husband. To your point, it gives he's like putting on an indifference for the camera. And again, I don't know if he's tired of being in her shadow. Look, he was originally her client, so she was already making big money. You coming just in as a client, you went ahead and bagged her somehow. Now, to your point, she's on the biggest reality show in the country. So if you're just tired of living in her shadow, then maybe that's a you problem. But you need to not like give that off for the camera. Charles
Right.
Oakley, that's Charles Oakley. That's the big dog. Okay,
Right.
so like him being,
Put respect on my man.
okay, and he
Put some respect on
I
my
love the
man.
fact that
Girl, calm down.
nobody,
Nobody,
like you know what
girl,
I mean.
ain't nobody worried about your man talking about put some.
He was like, I don't care if they put respect on my name, and I'm like, I'm not checking for them. So that gives that like that's just his personality. Britt, he just want to be indifferent. He just want to be indifferent.
Well, Angela, everybody's coming for Angela's nose.
oh
Because it's not good.
We saw like what's crazy when I first saw the show, I didn't really clock it that much, but then people have been like
yeah.
screenshotting and comparing it and doing this and that, and you literally see her nose is like
Yep,
It's
you do.
like
Like-
still got the big roundness, but then it still has like an extra. I'm like,
yeah, and it does a little something.
Like a permanent.
And then some people feel like Brit has a stuffy nose, like she sounds like she has a stuffy nose.
They're gonna have to switch doctors.
Yo, I'm telling you, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, it must be so hard to be on television
I
because,
can imagine, yeah, everything.
oh
Yeah.
my God.
Like sometimes just leave it alone. Put the filler down. Put the Botox down. Just be who and as you are. Everybody is beautiful, but that I don't know. And I doubt
The
that
nose is just so scary to me because it's like it's in the middle of my face. Like if you're not gonna do a good job, like you're gonna have to run this fade with me after I wake up from this bed.
Please.
Because like don't fuck up my nose. I'm not having it.
I'm so sorry.
Angela is another one that's bringing a lot of glam and lux to Atlanta. Her house is huge. They have a basketball court and everything. I mean, it gives very much retired NBA player. Charles Oakley seems to be down with the mess. He be giving you cute little moments.
I love
And
him rocking her wig. He was like, "Yeah, you might want to go in the bathroom." And
yeah, you might want.
A husband, you better get your wife together and tell her to go handle that. 'Cause, yeah.
I wonder. I wonder if they're gonna give the husband's confessional this year. Like you know how sometimes they be putting the
Yeah.
husbands. They gave they.
That, Charles.
I don't know if we've seen it already, but I know they give Ralph confessionals. So I hope that they give like the
They
other
did
husband.
I'm not mad at the husbands participating. So I don't want them to the point of like a Peter Thomas. We're like, okay, baby, you want a peach, but I'm not mad at their little inserts, their little look. This is what I gotta say. This is how I feel. Boom, bam, boom.
So we talked a little bit about Portia being late to Shamia's party, but one of the biggest things, there was two other things that happened at Shamia's parties. First, we got the introduction between all of the cast members. Everybody shows up for the first all cast event. We have Cynthia here, who's a friend of this season, and when Kenya shows up, she's saying hi to the girls. To me, it did not give that Kenya was trying to be shady when she walked into the group. Girl, I don't know you and I don't know you, so I'm gonna say hey, hey, and she said hey back, but you know she's gonna hug her friends. Janelle, you making faces. What you think?
I don't know if it's how it was edited afterwards because I have to at least give her that. But I did feel like she was being shady coming in. She gave everybody hugs and she spoke to everybody, but it's like she like purposefully skipped over Brit. It's clearly showing her shade during the conversation. So it's like, wait, why are you picking on her specifically? Like, have you heard something about her before you guys filmed this scene? Have you guys had like a previous situation? Like, what's going on?
So can I say, I'm coming into this season with it being, time apart, refresh, whatever. I'm giving all the girls a clean slate. And so what I see from this point moving forward is how I'm going to treat it. I'm being honest, I am notoriously a Kenya hater. I did not see it for Kenya Moore over the years. You could not get me to like that girl.
Me neither.
I had so many negative things to say about her. So coming into it, I was like, all right, Kenya, I have seen the growth. I think the birth of Brooklyn and the divorce from Mark, it really did show us a brand new Kenya. So over
Yeah.
the years, I have, grown more accustomed to her and her ways and this, that, and the third. But I think she clocked Brit Shade first. And Brit Shade was, oh, so all of y'all are divorced. And it's like, you don't know me to be speaking. Yes, you may see headlines.
That was a little shady. That was a little shady.
Because we're not, you don't know me. You don't know half these women to be
So all of y'all going through a divorce? Girl, please.
Who are you? And seemingly, if you're standing there, and we all know what rings mean, what finger to wear them on, what the band is versus the ring is. So if you're saying that, but you're seemingly standing there with a ring that does not represent that you're married, and then Kenya asks, and your answer, it wasn't clear. Oh, this is from your first marriage? This is your first wedding ring? Like, what do you mean? Even I, as a viewer, I was like, wait, I'm confused. Was she saying she was married before and this is a brand new ring, or this is the first ring and she got a second ring coming? I was confused. So I don't think Kenya's question was shady. I think she was genuinely trying to gain some clarity, but I think that Britt's original question was shady. And so Kenya was like, oh, okay, well, if you're going to say that, well, where's your ring?
Right.
Like, what you saying?
I feel like the moment that she was trying to clock like are y'all divorced, Kenya looked down straight at that hand,
Like, that's exactly
looking
what
for the wedding ring and the wedding band. And I think that not seeing the wedding band was like what threw her off a little bit. And it's just like, are you wearing a ring just to wear a ring, or are you not wearing a ring? And then
Right.
she's like, oh no, this is my. She said it was the upgrade, but it's only been a year.
It's not clear.
So no shade. It's giving you got the upgrade for the show, mama. No shade. Because it's only been a year and you got an upgrade?
Yeah. And did y'all still not have a wedding?
You got an upgrade. Hold on, wait, because now we got a clock. We got a clock T.
Yeah.
You got an upgrade to your ring 1 year after your wedding, but your husband doesn't know if he want to have baby with you, or y'all trying to figure out this whole baby situation.
Ooh.
I feel like if you got a ring, if you got to upgrade to your ring 1 year after, it should be no discussion whether y'all gonna have babies or not, and it should be just easy breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Yeah. Jumping on, like Shamia said, laying back, getting on top.
Right.
We know what we came here to do. But yeah, no, it's giving showman. And again, it wasn't clear. Was she wearing the band? You wasn't wearing the actual symbol of like, no, which is why Kenya asked. If she was wearing the ring she was supposed to be wearing, Kenya would have seen it and she would have clocked, okay, the girl is married. So then her question would have been, oh, well, how long have you been married? Or where
Right.
is your husband? And Kenya would have had a follow up question like that, not trying to further clarify what your marital status is.
And just to foreshadow a little bit, we kind of see that Kenya is still talking to Britt when they go upstairs and they're trying to get into this whole Portia and Drew situation because she's sidebarring with Britt and she's like, is Portia mad about Drew? And you know Kenya is very petty. If Kenya does not fuck with you or is trying to be shady with you, she's not gonna give you the time of day. She's not gonna side chat with you. She's not gonna do none of that with you in front of camera. So to me, that's why I don't think that Kenya was being completely shady, or coming for her at the beginning, because I feel like she would have gave her that energy throughout, bitch, I'm not fucking with you, I'm not talking to you, I'm not even sitting next to you type shit, you know.
And she came in how she came in. And to Janelle's point, she could have been a bit more friendly and gave Kelly a hug.
But that's Kenya. That's the one thing about Kenya that is like, I can never give her a 10, because while you are like monumental and important to the show, I do feel like Miss Kenya does come off a little bit arrogant sometimes, and that is something that I think is her cross to bear. Like, I met Kenya in person, she is lovely, but I do think that it's literally that, like, when you meet her in person, that you kind of like see that on camera, it doesn't really reflect that way all the time. So I can see why it can come off a little like Kenya looking down, because Kenya came into the scene very
queen mother, like, oh, Cynthia, my babes.
Right. Yeah. Miss USA, not America. Okay.
Don't ever get it twisted.
Okay. So then they go into the house. Somehow Kenya finds out about what Kelly said about Portia, and all of the girls come together to discuss what Kelly has said about Portia. And Portia's like, girl, like, is that really your opening line? And I think that Portia kind of clocked it, like, girl, like, this is the first time I am meeting you, I barely know your last name, and the first thing, and I'm already hearing that you're over here talking about, did I take that woman's man from her, like, or something like that? Like, girl, please, like, at least get to know me. Do you guys think that, I mean, you did kind of say it a little bit, that it kind of gave like camera, but did it feel camera between Kelly and Portia, Jonelle?
I definitely think that it gave camera, and I don't think that it was needed, at Shamia's event, or, so soon at Shamia's event, they didn't really like allow her to have her moment. And so I didn't really like that it happened the way it did, but I'm glad that they put it on the floor.
Yeah, I agree. Then they went upstairs. They took the elevator, honey.
It's too loud in here.
Yeah, it's too loud. And they went into this beautiful, just entertaining room that one of the entertaining rooms that Shamia has in her big house. And then they get into the mess with Portia and Drew. And I appreciate Shamia saying, okay, listen, I'm going to put it all on the floor. Drew, are you fucking Dennis?
Right here, right now.
Simple.
Yep.
That is why I like Shamia, because Shamia is not a newbie that has to like figure out, or like, she knows how this show works. She's been around, she knows how it is, and she's very real. She's like, honey, like, let's not beat around the bush. Why are you messing with Dennis if that is Portia's ex, and you and Portia have not even talked about Dennis helping you with your music? And then Dennis is inviting Portia to your birthday party. The invitation is not even coming from you. Mm-hmm. What in the hell is going on, Drew?
And Kelly needs to take notes. That's how you do it. The way that Kelly did it, it gave, like, I'm reading the blogs, I'm fishing for some drama, I'm bringing it to Shamia. The way that Shamia sat it down, she said, okay, we all here? Everybody attended for? Okay, I'm bringing it to your front door. I'm asking you directly. Like, that is how you're supposed to do it. So
I was a little surprised, though. I'm like, are we really going to go into this whole, like, Drew and Dennis are, like, fucking storyline? Because to me, that is the most... But yeah, unbelievable thing. Like I'm like, yo, if that was to happen, that's kind of like scandal. Like
It is
like
that is
it's
out of order
that
on
is so
so many levels.
crazy. That is so
So many
crazy.
levels. But that's
Uh,
why I'm saying the fact that they're even doing music together is crazy to me. And I love that Portia is making it very clear. Now, whether she's being honest about her feelings, that's a whole nother separate conversation. But it's not, it's less about them working together and more about going behind my back and the communication not being clear. That's what the issue is. At least that's what she's presenting it to be. So you got to take her word for it. And it already, we've seen that it has not been clear. First, Drew talked to you. Then Dennis talked to you. Then, well, I thought Dennis talked to you. Then, well, no, I called you. Okay, well, what conversation did we have? Oh, well, I couldn't get in touch with you. Well, which one was it, babe? Which one was it? So you're not even being all the way forthcoming.
I don't know what it's giving. I really don't know what it's giving. I feel like it's very easy for Drew to just be straight up and say, Portia, look at me straight to my face. Of course, I am not messing with your ex-husband, like, or your baby daddy. Of
Yeah.
course, I am not doing that. Girl, are you crazy? I would never break girl code with you like that. You have helped me so much. You gave me an opportunity. You did this and that. And I feel like the lack thereof of
Like a
Drew to do that, it's also what's pissing Portia off a little bit, because it's like, girl, if you know this is not what it is, can you also like set the record straight, because it looks messy. But now we know that it wasn't just that. Now we know that the reason why Portia was so upset is because, and when Portia said, "Is there a producer in the room?
Fourth wall
Can I
break.
right?"
Can I break it? Producer said, break it.
Break it, yo. When I'm telling you, I got goosebumps. But Portia said that the reason why she's mad, and the reason why, hey girl, the reason why she's mad, and the reason why Drew is low down and dirty is because low down. You are low down and dirty. The reason why Drew is low down and dirty is because Drew is an ambassador, or was an ambassador, of Go Naked Hair, and she was given a contract to wear the hair and talk about the brand. Promote the brand. And I guess that Drew was trying to film for the show some type of like Go Naked Hair promo or something, unbeknownst to Portia and Go Naked Hair HR and HQ. So Portia got mad as hell because she's like, girl, you bringing my company to the show? And I feel like, I'm gonna call a spade, no shade. I think Portia is overreacting a little bit.
Well, see,
A little bit.
I think she's
And
overreacting a little bit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I
Okay,
think she's overreacting a little bit, but I also think that Drew is doing that thing where somebody will like play on you a little bit, and they know that like they're doing things that will upset you, and like also not reaching out. Like, we remember Drew and Portia having a relationship in previous seasons, but even when they're talking about this Dennis thing, and Drew is saying, well, I text you, and Portia is saying, well, like, that's not a way that you reach out and talk to me about doing business with my child's father. If we're friends, you're gonna call me on the phone and say, hey girl, do you mind like if I do this album? If that's something that you're really looking to do, or if you're looking to have a photo shoot with my business on the show, why not come to me and say, hey, do you want to partner and have me do a photo shoot with you for your business on the show? And so I felt like she was taken aback by it a little bit, so I felt bad for her that they had the conversation there, and I felt like she was taken off guard a little bit. But it was also like, Drew, I feel like you playing a little bit and you playing stupid a little bit.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what it is. Drew is, y'all know that any type of partnership, any Wellington, before I go ahead and post anything on the Instagram, I send it to you. I'm like, what do you think? Is this okay? Can I go ahead? I'm
Right.
never going to take something that's yours, whether you contract me to work with you, you want me to partner, whatever. I'm never going to take something that's yours and just go off and do something that's my idea. My idea is not always your vision. And the way
Right.
that I want to execute my idea, you may love the idea, but you may say, hey, I want to tweak it this way. I love what you're doing, but let me add this, let me add
Right.
this. So Drew, you know better, and I know they got a contract. I know that contract is extensive. I am 100% sure that any and everything that Drew has to do, it has to be run by, if not Portia, then somebody on the team. So for you to try and go ahead and set up this photo shoot and have it filmed on the show without checking in with Portia, that's bad business that don't make no sense.
Right. And then Portia is mad because you're also trying to film with her baby daddy. And we see in episode 2 that Portia breaks down and breaks the fourth wall again, because she's tired of this. And I get it. When you're Portia Williams and you've had the romance story that she's had on these reality shows, you're going to have a guard when it comes to your love, the people that, your baby daddy, your man, all of that personal aspect. You're going to have a guard when it comes to that. And Portia has been one of the housewives that I commend the most because they give the show everything. Portia Family Matters.
Oh my God,
was a mess.
Yeah.
In a good way, but also
in a terrible way for them, right?
A mess in a terrible way for them as a family, But that's Portia. Portia gives it to the camera, and her family loves it too, so they give it to the camera too. So I think that we've seen Dennis drag Portia down. We've seen Dennis also pedestal Portia up. We've seen them go up and down. So Portia's just like, listen, I'm finally coming back to the show as the supreme, OG that is coming to save Grace. So I have a little pull right now that I've never had before. The last thing that I want is for me to be sharing this platform with my baby daddy, because the first time that we are going to be, let's say, arguing about something, or we're going to be on the outs,
yes,
he's going to use this platform to trash me.
Thank you.
And I think that's what she's trying to avoid. Go ahead, Sojourner.
I have 2 points about it. On the one hand, she's been very open, just like we talked about at the beginning of the show. She cannot film in her home. So her schedule and what she's allowed to do and what she's able to do is very limited. Dennis is her co-parent. So when she is not with Pilar, which means oftentimes, and when she's not with Pilar, she's probably working, if we're keeping it a stat. She needs to make sure that Pilar is in good hands. If that's not with her mom, then it's probably most importantly going to be with Dennis. If she needs childcare for Pilar, she's not trying to hear Dennis saying, "Oh, I'm filming for the show." Excuse me? Like,
what, Drew?
Yeah, with Drew of all people. Like, that is not what we're ever contracted to do. So I 1,000% understand how her saying filming with my baby's father is going to make my life more complicated. That's point number 1. And then point number 2, to your point, her entire love story has been played out on the show. Cordell ain't do right by her. Dennis ain't do right by her. Simon ain't do right by her. All she is looking for is loyalty to Portia. Who is going to be here for Portia? And she and Dennis, we saw it on Family Matters, but she and Dennis are now in a good spot. When she said herself, when we're good, we're good. But when it's Dennis the Menace and Petty P, it ain't good for nobody. You know what I mean? And when they're in a good spot, you don't want to allow anything, no what ifs, no possibilities, no room for error, where something can come into the mix and create any type of drama. And there are a lot of ways. Portia is a veteran on the show that something that is innocent, as in Drew and Dennis working together, can be taken, twisted, thwarted, and put into a world where it's going to end up negatively impacting Dennis and Portia's relationship and Portia and Drew's friendship. So she's like, I don't even want to give room for that to happen. So for y'all to not only do it, but to do it behind my back, not fully include me in the conversation, not sit down with me and say, okay, let's come up with a plan as to how this is going to look, this, that, and the third. It's giving shady. It's giving y'all don't have my back. It's giving you're not caring how this makes me feel. Drew, I understand you trying to get it out the mud just like anybody else. Find somebody else, damn it. Find you a real ass music producer that can actually do some things for you, not the hot dog man who happens to be my baby daddy. Like, please.
Because
So I give Portia 1,000%.
sorry, go ahead. Because it's like that Dennis being your producer is gonna get views, so now you want Dennis to be your producer.
And no shade, Drew, you got enough mess going on.
Enough.
Because the T is, you don't want the situation with Ralph is so big is because you don't want the divorce filings to be unsealed, because supposedly there's some mess that you've done that you don't want it to come out.
And hey, wasn't Ralph helping Drew with her music? I wonder
At
how
some
she.
point
I
too.
wonder how she would feel if Portia went ahead and decided to work with Ralph
Mm.
and said, "I want to cut an EP.
Or
I want
get
to."
down or get down to the kitchen while
Yeah, yeah.
Ralph is wearing his apron with no shirt on.
You catch Portia out down in your basement in the studio. I wonder how you would feel, Drew. So come on. Let's not. And to your point, Janelle, Drew does that thing where she likes to act stupid. And like you said, Wellington, when you're bringing it to her instead of being dead ass and straight up, it's what?
Yeah. Oh my god, I hate that so much. Like Drew, please be for real.
For real. And like you said, that's just gonna aggravate and irritate Portia even more. So again, Drew, I am rooting for you, but the way that you're moving, I cannot co-sign it. I can't. I can't.
I will say though, like Drew, like as much as I have problems with with everything that she got going on this damn show, I do think that Drew is an amazing character. Like I think that Drew, like when you make people have these emotions for you, you're doing something right. It is what it is. Like, you know, she has I like my housewives to have personal drama. Like it's okay for you to have your feuds between the girls. That's gonna come. But if you have personal drama, if you have personal story, I think that's really when you're golden. And Drew is lucky to have a husband like Ralph that is willing to put it all on the floor, because it only makes her even a better housewife. Because while you have housewives that don't talk anything about their relationship or don't show anything that's negative about their relationship, here you have Drew showing you that Ralph cannot come upstairs and that she gotta leave her own house whenever Ralph has the kids for the weekend. Like that's a lot.
And one thing about Drew, she may not be a Nene, Kenya, or Portia or Phaedra with the linguistic, but she gonna go toe to toe with you.
She
not gonna-
is. She gonna
Right
but
back to you in her own way. And so,
yeah.
like I said, she ain't them, but she ain't a Cynthia. She gonna go back and forth with you, and she gonna make sure you hear what she gotta say.
You see,
So,
like this is why I love reality right after. Like we are critiquing the girls, but we also give the girls their flowers.
you gotta be unbiased. You gotta be unbiased. You gotta show up for what it
You
is.
know?
Words do and critique where it's necessary.
Exactly. Castmates, let me know what you guys think. Like, is Drew having a good season? So I mean, it's only been 2 episodes, but are you liking what Drew is giving, or are you not liking what Drew is giving? Like, let us know down in the comments again.
Putting down.
Right. We finally saw what viewers have been waiting to see for the longest, and that was Portia and Kenya's sit down that they finally had this episode 2. So that almost made me like emotional a little bit. No, not almost. It did make me emotional. Like I grew up on Atlanta Housewives. Like seeing it's literally seeing like Portia, Kenya go from bye Ashy to both pulling up in their Rolls Royce to a little lunch looking like bad ass.
Money. Looking like money.
Girl, $1 million, both of them.
Yes.
Wow, like I was just like, shout out to them, because this is what it's about. And also, like, I've been waiting for a season where Portia and Kenya are friends. Yeah. Like, I've been waiting for this. I feel like, no shade, we were robbed of what could have been a great season of Portia and Kenya little sidebars and and you'll see more. I'm gonna give you that little sneak peek. You'll see more of that as the season unfolds until Kenya kind of like fades out. But I was ready for that. So seeing this scene where Portia meets Kenya at a chic spot to unpack her Simon split, flashbacks of their epic beefs, the scepter, the wigs, like they've been through it. But here they are having real talk, real conversation. Portia spills that he's on wife number 5, which I didn't know. And Kenya kind of like agrees, girl, these men have been putting us through it. Like, no shade, because look at mine. I'm not even divorced yet.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, their mama bond over Pilar and Brooklyn shines. Portia admits that she thought that she had it all figured out with everything that she's going, but she doesn't, and she's trying to like get back to it. Kenya muted confessionals reminds us that she's silenced. Seeing scenes with Kenya and not seeing her confessionals pop in, there is a void there that's missing.
There is.
Jonelle, speak about that void. Like as a viewer, is it clear to you that Kenya is missing?
It's clear that Ken's missing, and it's clear that something is missing from this show. Something so strong. All Kenya's punchlines, like all the funny things that she has to say, just from her reactions of different people. Like, even though, like, we've all expressed that, like, we've had disdain for Kenya in the past. Kenya is always entertaining, especially in her confessionals. Her looks are grand. Like, she's always,
Always.
her hair is so beautiful. Kenya
Oh,
every so it's very hard to see her not have confessionals.
I agree. I agree, Sojourner.
I find myself, and like you said, as someone who never really liked Kenya, never really saw it for her, I find myself asking and thinking, well, what does Kenya think about all this? Like,
Right.
I want to know, like, nitty gritty, true confessionals, not with anybody else around, straight to camera. What does she think about all of this? And I'm so sad. I do think that based on what's going on now with the commentary, whatever she did with Britt, I do hope that we will see her back next season. I don't think that it'll be anything that we're, and hopefully we see her at the reunion. Honestly, hopefully she's able to come back for the reunion. So I don't think this will be goodbye to Kenya forever. I think it will very much just be okay. But she needed to learn a lesson for whatever reason. She needed a pause for that moment. But we gonna you can't at this point have Housewives of Atlanta without Kenya. You can't.
Right. And Portia did say a little bit while she was in the Breakfast Club that she would love for Kenya to come back and for her to join the cast again, and that she would love for Kenya to join the reunion and speak her side of things.
They need to
And
have-
I think that no shade, we need to see that.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah.
we need to see.
yeah. In the same season that you bring back Phaedra is crazy.
Yeah, and and that's the thing. I was a Phaedra lover, and as with recent events, I have turned the tide. I still love Phaedra, but I'm not the biggest fan as I used to be anymore. So yeah, if you can understand, they tested her out Ultimate Girls Trip. They tested her out on Traders. They saw that the fans still love her, so they're like, okay, let's go ahead and bring her back. But if you can bring Phaedra back, then you can damn sure bring Kenya back. And I would love to see Phaedra and Kenya sitting on that couch again together. And also, if you just note the original commentary when whatever happened between Kenya and Britt happened, everyone was anti-Kenya. Oh, well, Kenya did the most. I can't believe she did that. What was she thinking? Now, the tune done changed. Everyone's talking about, yeah, bring Kenya back.
Girl.
It wasn't that big of a deal, but everybody anti-Brit now. So it's like, okay, well, if the tides done change, then let's ride the wave. Bring her on back. Let's have them hash it out the way they should.
I was surprised to see that Kelly and Brit are no longer friends.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Okay.
I was very surprised.
And I cannot wait to see what happened, why it happened, how it all went down. And that's just like the beauty of the show. What you see in the beginning is not what's going to be at the end. Like those dynamics are going to change. So
But
much.
I'm deep into the season because I get them ahead of time. I'm deep into the season, and I still can't see how we go from here to here.
I wonder if it was some off cameras after the season,
You know?
in between filming, because I saw Shamia and Kelly in a radio interview, and they was
Yeah.
what the question was, but it was something about like who's the worst cast member or the
Who's your least favorite? I think it was.
and their answer was both of their answers. And I'm like, well, y'all was just sitting at the dinner table, kicking it up with Britt. How she now your least favorite? What had happened?
What had happened, girl?
And so now with everybody singing the tune of "Bring Kenya Back," you know, Britt isn't the angel that she paints herself out to be. So yeah, go ahead and bring Kenya back now. Bring Kenya back.
So I like the fact that something that I forgot to mention was that I really liked when Kelly came to Shamia's party early, and Shamia sat down and told her, like, listen, girl, like, I'm gonna just let you know that I did not like what you said about my friend. I did let her know she is not happy with you, and we will be checking you. Like I did.
Period. Point blank.
Like Shamia does be reporting back. You know what I'm saying?
And that is a true friend on both sides.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly that she said at the dinner table to Kelly, like, I'm going to talk to Portia about it. She went back to Portia and told her what happened. She saw Portia's reaction. She made sure she sat down with Kelly and said, well, I did tell Portia this is what happened. I think you should talk to her. You are being a friend to both women at that point.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it at all.
And we kind of see is episode 2 the episode where this is why it's so bad to watch ahead, because
You don't know where you at,
when
right?
it comes out, sometimes I'm like, I'm not talking ahead, right? Is episode 2 the episode where they end with the girls at the gym with Shamia?
Yes.
So okay, so I thought that was also interesting as hell that Shamia and Angela were getting into it.
Angela decided to pipe up out of nowhere.
And you know, but also this is why I think this casting is done so well. Angela is over here trying to stick up for her friend, and to me, when they said that Angela and Drew were friends, I didn't really like. You know how sometimes they be saying they friends, but they're not really friends. So
I Chicago. That was
you
it.
know, I'm
was
like,
it.
are y'all really friends? But Angela's coming here defending her friend, and she's down to get to the get down because of her friend. So shout out to Angela.
Same time it gave that she was looking for a moment, because literally when they were at Shamia's party, Angela said to Drew, like, Drew, that is kind of weird. So like you acknowledge.
Right.
Well, now when Shamia is sitting here saying, yeah, it is weird, you're okay, well, why are you sticking up for Portia? Why are you being Portia's assistant? What happened to that is my fucking friend? I'm going to stick up for my friend.
Right.
It's
It's kind of like the same thing you're doing with Drew, no?
Hello, you sitting there. And Shamia was like, but I'm talking to Drew. I'm talking directly to Drew, so I really don't need your commentary right now. But you want to pipe up, so let me speak.
Right.
It did feel like Angela was fighting for her peach a little bit, but they're in that moment. And so when Shamia asked that question, if you feel some type of way, why didn't you say, well, why did you ask that, and why didn't you ask that? Instead of waiting until the next scene, or the next time that you see her, to bring it back up.
Right. Ooh,
So we'll
what a
see.
season!
The girls are giving it.
The girls are okay. So episode 1 and 2, 5 stars. How many stars did you give it, Janelle?
Episode 1, I would give 5 stars. Episode 2, I would give 3 stars.
Okay.
See, I'm gonna give episode 1 4 stars. I'm giving episode 2 5 stars. What I loved about episode 2, that on the scene confessional, that hot mic moment with Portia and Drew. Give me reality. She was upset while filming. She walked away. The cameras followed, and she is right there in the bathroom giving a live confessional, talking to the producer just how this shit actually goes. I don't know how it got set up that Portia and Pilar were already there, and Dennis done met them there, and then they end up driving off together. I don't know where his vehicle was, and that's not my business. But for them to be in the car and they're talking about this is a hot mic moment, and she's like, well, yeah, I'm sure you know all about those now since you want to be filming the show. Like, that is some real shit. And I love the real shit. So that made it 5 stars for me. That made it 5 stars.
No, I think that honestly, listen, when it comes to the black shows on Bravo, I'm always gonna root for them, and I'm always gonna give a little extra, even if they don't deserve it. Because no shade, I'm not gonna be too critical of them too much, because we only have a couple. But I think RHOA is so good. I don't know. I do feel like this new season is giving, and I feel like the new girls, they're not what we're used to, but they're messy as hell, and we need mess. And I like when the mess is not coming from just one person; it's coming from different people for different reasons. So we have this whole Portia and her personal matter situation. Then we have this Portia and Drew situation. Then we have this Portia and Kelly situation. Then we have Shamia and all of the stuff that she has going on and her grand life. And then we have possibly Shamia and Angela are gonna be feuding a little bit. We already know the Kenya and Brit stuff is looming. We already see that festering a little bit between Kenya and Brit. So I don't know. I think that we are in a good spot for a good season. I really want, like, I'm telling all of the viewers, like, I encourage all of the viewers, watch The Real Houses of Atlanta. We have Housewives today because of The Real Houses of Atlanta. No shade. Like, I know that it is the 4th show, but it is the show that put this entire situation on the map. Go back to the ratings, baby. They have no other Housewives has ever had a highest episode rating than a Real Houses of Atlanta episode.
They
okay?
say women line, numbers don't. Okay? The pop
You know-
culture And Housewives is probably one of the most quoted reality shows ever. But Atlanta specifically, people don't know why they hate white refrigerators. It's because of Nene Leakes. Y'all just know that you hate them. You don't even know the history
It's
behind
a thing, girl. I'm viewing apartments and I'm walking in and it's a white refrigerator and I'm out.
Oh, not a white refrigerator, child, okay? And I love that. I feel like, especially with this cast, this ensemble, they're bringing back the essence of a housewife. Yes, and I said it in the last episode. It's going to look different. Nene was, I think, 42 when she filmed her first season. All these women are in that early 40s age. The fashion is different. Atlanta looks different, so it's going to look different. Just naturally, Atlanta is skewed
And
more.
we are in this hot girl era, and y'all gotta be okay with it. Like, yeah,
Girl.
that's the part that pisses me off about the way some people view the show. That it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I want it to be old school Atlanta, but old school Atlanta is not old school Atlanta.
It's not.
You go to Atlanta right now, and it's not what it used to be. So you cannot expect a show that's supposed to be about real life not reflect the way that Atlanta is now. And this is Atlanta now.
Yeah.
No shade. Because you walk around, you see the girls were down to the basketball game the other day and you saw all the girls that look just like them. All of Portia friend, Marlo was there. Like this is Atlanta.
It is. It is.
It is what it is. And
Bringing back opulence. They're bringing back wealth. They're bringing back generational wealth. They're bringing back grand homes. They're bringing back those family dynamics. They're bringing back wives. You know what I mean? And I'm happy to see it. I have no complaints about this ensemble of a cast. I don't.
Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Reality Right After. This was such a good episode. I am
Always.
so happy. I know. I love having people.
Guys.
Oh no, Jonelle, thank you so much for joining. I know that you said you were a little nervous, so tell us, like, how did it feel now that we're all done with it?
It felt good. It felt like I was talking to the girls.
You know, like,
Because we were, yes.
yeah, exactly. Well, make sure that you listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify at Reality Right After. And if you're watching us on the YouTube, on the Reality Rundowns YouTube, make sure you guys are subscribing. And for everything reality TV, your number one source at the Reality Rundown, make sure that you are following. I'll be here next week talking episode 3 of The Real Houses of Atlanta, and also all of the other shows that we have going on in the reality TV space. So make sure that you're catching all of the Reality Right After episodes. You can catch Sojourner on the after shows on the Reality Rundown's Instagram page. So make sure that you catch her on there. She's recapping RHOA the entire season. She is the RHOA correspondent this season. So she's going to be interviewing the girls. She's going to be recapping the show on IG Live every week and gonna have a couple guests come up and do a little thing. So make sure you guys catch her on there. And make sure you guys are following everybody. I put the little ad names and everything, okay? Castmates, thank you so much for listening. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Seriously? Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Janelle, come back, please.
Come
This
on,
was
you
fun.
had commentary, girl. You had things to say.
Yes, definitely. I will definitely let you know for the future and probably talk a different show, like you watch everything, right?
Yes. I watched Salt Lake City, Beverly Hills.
Oh, okay. Definitely Beverly Hills. I need to do some Beverly Hills episodes for
Oh,
sure.
yeah, call us up. Call us up. Medicine. We can get in. If you want the older Atlanta, we can get
Right. I love Married to Medicine. Well, thank you so much. Have a beautiful night, and I'll let you both know when this episode is up.
Yes, thank you so much, darling. I cannot wait to listen, to post it, to share it, get the people excited.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Have a good night, okay?
Everyone, God bless.